Hello, hello, hello. Okay, yeah. I'd forgotten to turn a couple things on. Had to do it at the last second. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything. Happy Friday. If Fridays still mean anything to you at this point, I don't. I don't know anymore. I work on Saturdays, so what is a Friday now? Yeah. Anyway, welcome. Today, we are kicking off some conversation about. We'll be kicking off with some conversation about Krulril, aka Simril. We'll be talking about the Heroes of Roas. They are now all a part of the campaigns. Yeah. There's weekend buffs. We get a Penelope buff with a GE. We just got Penelope, and we're already getting a GE for her, so that's pretty cool. So we'll go over all that today. As always, if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. Yada, yada, yada. What's up, Supli, Bindaroo, R Green Paradox, Black Cat. Who else we got in here? Nine Hammer saying payday Friday. I mean, some people get paid on Fridays. I don't. I get paid once a month, so it's always on the same date. What's going on? Midnight Griff, Star Chaser, B.A. Billy G, Shark Fighter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on in this? Oh, I'm doing Mad Wizard free plays. I've only got about 4,000 candles left, unfortunately, for the event at the moment, which means I can't do all the variants for Lucious today. Because I accidentally left my Modron going and burned through all of my tokens, which was the idea, arguably. Usually I save enough to do all three of these. We'll do No Rest for the Gifted and Utterly Deadly today. Cracks me up. And then on my other account, I have Lucious's bedtime stories going right now, so we can go look at what that looks like too. So why do I need to see that Penelope banner? They always put a banner here. This is how they tell you it's a friendly weekend, and these are the things that are buffed up here, but then this is the chest, and that's what the chest goes for. And if you go to the shop, it shows you that the sweetener here is the GE for her Tools for the Job charm. Yeah, I mean, that's just how the game works. If you don't like it, you close it. And away we go. Let's see. No Rest of the Gifted. What is this one? Only champions with charisma score of 14 or higher can be used. Quest goals are doubled. Yeah. I mean, this was my... Okay, so there's only 2 people that didn't let me use automatically out of my save formation. We'll add some Nova. Who else? We don't need DPSage. We just need another person in there. There we go. We got some Dinar. He'll buff things up. It'll work. It'll work. How's my dragon bait? Well, we're going to open some chests today. I mean, I don't... You ask every stream, but I don't open silver chests on my main account except on stream. So until we actually open silver chests, he's going to be the same. He's got that one missing shiny, and I do have... a little over 1,000 to open up today, so hopefully that'll do it. But maybe it won't. Out of curiosity, the new character Lucious, does he work well with Sentry? I mean, yeah, the Lucious is one of the heroes of Roas, so there is a synergy. You know, a Roas synergy is a thing. They're going to work. They want to kind of be together. I mean, there's 3 tanks in that lineup in the Heroes of Roas, which is, humorous, but you don't necessarily have to use them all as tanks. Ayla's a fantastic tank. Sentry can be a great tank. Nova could be a tank, or you could just have her support, but I mean, she is tankage. So like in a 3-tank formation, there you go. You got the 3 tanks, and then you got Keelix supporting with some heals and some buffs, and then you got Lucius doing the pew-pews. How many candles did I burn through for the event so far? I want to say it was like 70,000. Probably around 70,000. How am I auto-leveling skills? I have it set to upgrade. Right here. It's set to upgrade. So when it's set to upgrade, it's just going to automatically level stuff. If you need specializations, I've got... We can turn this off. Doesn't matter because I'm on a variant, but just so people don't complain. I already have this formation saved in, and that includes the specializations for everybody that auto-loaded. So yeah. 3 tanks good for the Warden Formation. Let's take a look. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Warden's is... Oh yeah, Warden's a 3 frontline. So you could run... If you have all of the Aerois team, you could run an Aerois frontline. Yeah. There's a lot of options. This is a nice thing. If you have 3 tanks available, this is just a really nice, tight formation. It allows for a lot of adjacencies and for multiple characters. This is pretty neat. You could probably do pretty well with this one. Crawls is, the standard triangle with some excess baggage on the end. And then Lucian's is this weird pincher thing that I just don't like in general. If you have a choice of where you're going to do your deep favor pushes, not this one is probably the best choice. Either of these two. It's just not great. As you could probably hear, my allergies, after weeks of being really good for me, all decided to nail me today. So there may be points where I have to mute the mic and potentially even shut the webcam off for a moment while I deal with my allergies. They've been bad today. Mine's an upgrade, but it's not doing that. I have to click. I don't know what you... I'm not sure what you mean, Strike. Are you talking about... Like, I have familiars down here. They're leveling everything up for me. So, is that what you're talking about? You got to be pretty specific with the conversation, because just saying, how do my auto-leveling skills? Well, that's... I mean, when I have it on upgrade and you put a familiar on it, it does everything for you. Yeah. We're actually going to be going over automation tomorrow. Tomorrow's deep dive stream is Gaarawarr's Guide to Automation. We'll talk about familiars and the things that they do, and we'll also talk about Modron cores and the Modron automation. So we'll specifically just have something that's on specifically automation and how all this stuff works. And I'll probably go through a couple... Like, we'll talk about the biggest thing that in automation is basically Mad Wizard farming. We'll talk about that. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. Sneezing and nose blowing is out of the way for the moment. I don't know why it's picking on me today. What time tomorrow? So the deep dive shows on Saturdays start at 9 a.m. Pacific. So super early. Grab your bowl of cereal and your blankie and curl up in front of whatever screen you watch this on and join us. Yeah. Question from Sharkfighter. Other than variants where Avron isn't available, are there situations where Warden is useful? I'm everywhere. Even when you're using Avron, you can use Warden too. Warden's debuff lingers, which means you swap Warden in, you apply your debuff to the things you want debuffed, like usually you bring it in on like a particularly hard boss, and then you bring Avron in, and then you get the best of both worlds. Seems like swapping him into Hex isn't worth the delay and getting the mirror images. I mean, that's going to depend on what kind of, like, the durability of your tank, right? If you don't have a durable tank, then swapping for anything probably isn't worth it, and you need to start working on that. But with durable tanks, it's not an issue. Do I have 2 cores? I do. I've got both my cores. Like, this is the empty, what I call the empty core. I think it leveled up again. Yeah, level 9 now. But I still haven't piped anything because all I really care about is automation for this one. It's my foreground one. So unless I'm trying to push really super far and deep, then I don't care about the buffs. And then I really only use this for automation in the background as well, but it's in the background because I don't need to level it. It's fully leveled and it's maxed out with epics, so don't have to do anything with it, which is super nice. So there's no rest for the gifted thing. I mean, if you don't have the champions, obviously it's going to be challenging. The quest goals are doubled thing I don't really think is a problem. I actually think that helps you get more gold per level. So you end up over leveling early and it kind of helps you to complete it. So this one, I don't really see this one as being a huge challenge. Obviously it's a little harder if you have a more limited roster, like you won't get Brunor, you don't get Celeste, you can have Nieli, and you can have Jarlaxle, you can have Calliope, you can have Ashara. You can't have Minsk, but you can have Hitch and Delina. You can have Makos. I mean, you've got a pretty good roster. I think you don't get Tyrol. You can have Jamila. You can have Archon. You got a pretty good roster available to you, and you have comparatively a lot more gold because you have to kill more things, right? Play the game via Congregate and via Cartridge. However, in Cartridge does not show the Simral event. I don't have any tips on how to update that. I mean, usually I just restart if it's not showing up. Like with Steam, I just restart. Obviously on WebGL, every time you open your browser, it's restarting it. But with Steam, I have to close the app and then load it. I don't know. I've never used Cartridge. If Cartridge is like an app thing like that, then maybe you have to close it and reload it. Where do I get the free chest? In game. I mean, there's a code command people probably spammed. It shows up on the screen for the free chest code. Then you just go to the shop over here and you click on unlock a locked chest, and bam, you put it right there. Did I do this already? Hold on. I did not. So yeah, there you go. Demonstrated live on stream. All right. Yeah, pretty straightforward. New player here, Counting Coup, welcome. Is there a way to link the Steam version with the mobile version? No, there's no crossplay at all. This isn't, I want to be very clear here, this isn't a limitation of the developers. This is a limitation of all of those platforms that don't want to share their money because they're greedy and they don't want to share their money. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. There are games that you could cross-platform on, and there's usually been this extensive negotiation process and figuring out shareage of monies and splitting of monies. And it's, more often than not, it's with a game that makes a ton of money and everybody wants a little bit of the pie, right? But until the platforms themselves decide they want to be a little freer with who and how and where people play, then it's going to be difficult. If you like the game but don't care about lore, how would you talk me into continuing to play the game? I mean, this is probably not something Cine wants me to say, but if you don't want to play the game, we'll play the game. I don't know. Like, this is, at its core, this is a puzzle. This is like a strategy formation management game. If that type of gameplay doesn't appeal to you, then this may not be the game for you. The lore is the flavor that they put on top of that cake, right? Like, it's the frosting. It makes things a lot more fun. But at its core, it's about, look, you get characters, they've got abilities, and they level, and you've got all these different methods of power, and it's just skinned in the D&D universe. I don't think you have to be in lore to enjoy the game. If you enjoy this type of kind of puzzle and strategy and, long-term play type thing, this isn't something you spend 100 hours on and then you're like, I'm done. I think oh no. Am I going to look at my hours played? This is bad. This is always bad. I'm at 15,274 hours. And let me tell you folks, I'm not even at the high end. I'm at the higher end. I'm above average. There's people that are over 20,000 hours in this game. Definitely my number one most played game in my Steam catalog. But that's because you turn it on and you just leave it on, right? but you're constantly, you know, fiddling with things. I liked it originally because, oh, here we go again. Hold on. Sneeze time. Ooh, yeah, I felt that one coming. All right, let me turn the camera back on. There we go. I saw somebody say, what kind of allergies do you have in winter? The kind of allergies that exist in my room. I'm allergic to something in my room. I know this. The problem is there's a lot of things in my room. There's no way to really track it down by like removing things from my room one at a time or something. Like, this is not possible. So, you know, I dust regularly, I vacuum regularly. I've got a new humidifier. That's been helping a lot. But today it just all backlogged and hit me for some reason. So somebody goes, yeah, I got 500 hours and I'm a newbie. Yeah, that's honestly, I think that's about right. Right. Yeah, you can play this game for 500 hours and still be fairly new at it. How can I claim my chest? NFS go to, we just did this. You go to the shop, you go to unlock a locked chest, and then you enter in the code. How many accounts do I have? Technically, I have 3, but I don't play the Vow of Poverty account anymore. That's just way too rough. I don't recommend that to anybody. It was interesting to try, but that's where you don't get any items at all. You can't open any chests or anything related, then use anything related to chests. It's rough. But I do a Marzuar challenge account, which was basically just start up a new player account and try to play as efficiently as possible. That's the one that's over here. If you want to look, it's doing Lucious's bedtime stories right now, so I can get that sweet Faye Lucious skin. But it's got these 3 little street urchins from Waterdeep Dragon Heist in here, keeping me from being able to use all my formation slots. So I'm down I'm down 3, and they're in a kind of real bad places. So fortunately, I did a bunch of free plays, so I got my I got my favor up pretty high in the adventure or in the event, which is what you got to do before you want to tackle the variants, in my opinion. So I'm up to what, about 8 EO9 favor. Yeah, that gets you enough to start doing this stuff. That makes them all green. I'd say the hardest variant in the event is probably Warden's. We'll see, but I think it's probably Warden's Unspeakable Horrors, because what you end up at the end, because I just did this one, you end up at the end with just these top 3. They shouldn't bother marking these off. You end up with just these top 3. So I had Nieli up here. I had Warden right here, because he starts there and he can't move. And then I had Calliope. And those 3 get you through, as long as you got about EO9 favor, you're going to be fine. Because Warden gets a buff that gives him more damage, and then Calliope is shielding the tank and buffing Warden, and worked out pretty well. But that's probably the hardest. That's the hardest one, I think. Because you're down 7 out of 10 slots, right? Warden question, does his debuff work against hit armor? I mean, the debuff applies to the enemy. So, yes. Do I get some achievements for Simril too? I mean, yes, every event has achievements. You come right over here to the events tab, and all of these are for Simril. Well, so these are Dadius. Dadius is no longer part of Simril. Dadius was in year 1, but now he is a Time Gate champion. But you can still, during Cymril, you can get Frozen Adventures, which was his original achievement. You can pick that one up because it has to be done during the event. Everything else from Dadius you'll have to get by picking up Dadius in a time gate and doing that stuff. But all these others through here, like I already did Elemental Pop. That one was pretty easy. I need to do his variants and then get his gear, which will open up some silver chests today in a bit and get some gear. Byron XG has started today. Welcome to the game. Having a blast. Can you recommend a YouTube channel that details some of the game? Oh, boy, can we ever. If you go over to, hold on, let me make sure it's, youtube.com/skinnygames. If we, let me change screens here. Boom. You want to go here. And then hit up playlists. Look at this. We hit up, there's Gaarawarr's guides. This is my deep dive show. This is going to have real in-depth specific stuff. There's past episodes of Evergreen Champions, which is aimed at newer players. There's Mars's Guiding Hand. Mars goes through, talks through all the new content when it comes out each week. So if you miss this stuff live, you can always go back and watch these. Here's a list of all of this show, going back for a while, right? 36 episodes, Mars is 37. Those are the major ones that are about gameplay. But if we go over here, oops, I didn't want to open that. I just wanted to go to the list. So here's Modrons and Multi-Party, Divine Favor and Blessings. You can't really see it. Oh, well. Can I shrink it a little bit? No, that just makes it worse. Okay. But yeah, there's all the stuff. Here we go. Maybe if I go view full playlist. There we go, right in the middle of the screen. Divine Favor and Blessings, Formation Strategy. Formation Strategy is probably the one you should start with. And then Divine Favor and Blessings, probably second. Then you can get into items and consumables, events, because that's what we're doing right now is an event. And then the rest as you want. But there's all kinds of these. We do in each one, like I said, tomorrow's topic for this stuff is going to be automation, which as a newer player isn't really something you probably know about, but it's going to be good to learn about. And then Dylan and I sat down and figured out the last couple of episodes for the year. So, can I spoil that? I can probably spoil that. I don't know why I can't spoil that. If I can remember what they are. Here we go. We're going to do Gaarawarr's Guide to Ulcoria. So we've done Dragonbait and we did Azaka. These are some of the bigger Evergreen champions you can unlock that, are more challenging or have huge impact on the game. Like Azaka has more impact on the game. Dragonbait's pretty challenging. Ulcoria is pretty challenging if you're a newer player and you're doing it right away. So we will play through and the unlock mission for Ulcoria and talk about Ulcoria. And then we're going to do an episode on the core champions in the game. So we'll talk about all 12 core champions in one episode. We're going to be having to fit a lot of information into one episode, but we're going to do it. And then that will probably be the final episode for 2020. And then we come back because all of the streams go dark for 2 weeks, and Codename Entertainment will go dark for 2 weeks for the holidays. And then we come back in January. The first episode in January will be a 2020 Champions Year in Review. So we will literally go over every champion that got added to the game in 2020 and take a look forward at, maybe what we'll be expecting in 2021. Yeah, should be interesting. Lots more of that kind of stuff. I'm leveling up all my stuff on my other account. I don't think anybody can see that. Oh no, yeah, I was on that screen. Okay, good. Here we go. Let's go back. Hey, no rest for the gifted. Complete. Yay. So yeah, that's probably the best playlist. I'm not just saying that because I made it, but it's got all the main stuff. Because specifically, CNE was like, we need tutorials. People wanted tutorials for the game, and they're like, well, Gaarawarr can stream that stuff. 'Cause that's easier than us trying to come up with super crazy tutorials for everything. They don't have, they are so, I mean, they're, you know, they're creating the game and they're doing everything from home in the middle of a pandemic, and yeah, they're good. Let's see. Oh, here we go again. Hold on. Whew. All right. Where's the webcam? There it is. Hey, hey. Okay. Lucious starts in the formation for Utterly Deadly. Slot 5. And now, see, they always say slot 5 and slot whatever, and it's like, but they don't number these for us to know where that is. Cannot be moved. Lucius is the only champion that can deal damage. So this is basically, hey, everybody, you need to learn how to use Lucian. Pretty standard type of variant for champions. Lucius attacks twice as fast as normal. His ultimate cooldown is reduced to 30. This is huge. Because faster attacks for him means he does his elemental pop more, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to try to build a full Aerois formation here so that we can talk about how they work together. In each area, a cursed cow appears. If the cursed cow attacks a champion, that champion becomes cursed, disabling all of its upgrades until you change area. That's bad. Yeah. So let's go. Let's go. Go Aerois. Oh, I should have. It's going to load everyone else in instead. Maybe? Yeah. Okay, hurry. Turn it off. Turn it off. Nope, too late. Too late. Get out. Get out. Oh, well, you can stay. You're Aerois. Everybody that's not Aerois, get out of the formation. All right. Let's do this. Do this. Well, no. Let's not do that. Let's just do... These people are going to do the attackings and the damagings. Let's get Nova in. Well, you know what? I'm going to put Nova in a support position because we're going to have Ayla in the tanky position. And who are we missing? Oh, yeah, Keelik. Quill. So I've kind of been streaming through or speeding through some of this, but with this, when I looked over it, we were talking about this on stream on my channel yesterday, Twitch TV/Gaarawarr Gabs, or Gaarawarr, excuse me. Gaarawarr Gabs was a blog. That was a real throwback. I don't know where that came from. We looked at all of these and like changed specs while we were sitting there fighting, and Elemental Master is basically the one that's going to give you the potential for the most damage. It does require a ramp up, but this is the damagey one. This is like, I don't want to wait around for as high of a... I don't want to wait around as long for that max damage. I just want to get a little bonus damage right away and have it be a little bit better even when it maxes out. And this one is like... I don't really know. This one feels like it's kind of like, well, you get to keep some of your stacks, but if you're just flying through areas, you're going to end up with nothing anyway. I don't know. We're going to go Elemental Master. And because we're doing an Aerois formation, we're going to go Journaling. And Stormcaller is basically the best choice over here. And I picked the speed option for Sentry. And there's Keelik. All right. Oh, wait, do I want to be like there? I can't remember. We'll go over it in a minute. There we go. Expanded Blessings. Champion's exactly 2 slots away from Keelik. Contribute twice as much to Bless. But you want to have him next to the DPS, so we're 2 away here. And you know what? We'll do there. And now we're 2 away there, so we'll get 2 bonuses. 2 of the bonuses. And we'll talk a little more in detail about all of them in a minute. Let's see. What are your opinions on how the Heroes of Aerois work together? I mean, I thought they did pretty well when we were pushing yesterday. It's a very niche group because you do kind of want to have a multi-tank. It is a multi-tank group. So it's best in multi-tank formations. And kind of, oh God, the Mad Cow spits? That's not fair. That's not fair at all. All right. You kind of have to have, like, they're probably best in a 3-tank formation, so you can use all the tanks. Because Ayla is such a powerful tank, one of the others is going to be the weakest link and die off, like one of the other tanks. You're going to fall to whoever is the weakest tank in the group. So it doesn't even matter that, Ayla's super tank extraordinaire, and she is. He'll end up going there. I think Lucy's damage was fine. I didn't have any problems with it. I think I pushed to, like, with a full formation, I pushed to 770. And then when I just tried to throw Zorbu into that same formation, because Zorbu is usually fairly plug and play, he only got me like another 10, 15 levels. Which is nice, and if you need it, sure, but it wasn't like it was amazing. Now, if I had tried to build out like a max formation, like with try all the super optimal stuff, but I mean, they are built to work together. They do contribute their synergy pools for the most part fairly well. His synergy, he gets the synergy stuff about, and it goes straight to his Arcane Chroma Acid thing. And if we go up here, that means he does extra damage, like damage over time, to enemies that he hits with it. So, you're increasing the damage enemies are taking, but you just got to remember this is just based off his damage. He's got the Arcane Chromat Cold, which slows enemies and they take more damage from all attacks. I know everyone read Silas's guide probably by now. If you haven't, it's out there. They said that they don't take more, that he could put this on, but then doesn't take more damage from Lucious. And if that's the case, then it's got to be a bug, because it literally says more damage from all attacks. And that means from him too. He is attacking. So it should apply to him as well. If it's not, report it. I didn't see an issue with it, but I didn't get super too fiddly on the numbers. And then, of course, the Elemental Adept. This is basically everything about Lucius is built around Elemental Adept. And that's basically you want to hit with both his attacks, because his attacks go back and forth between applying this Chromat Acid and Chromat Cold. And when they have both on one target, they explode via Elemental Adept. Everything is based around this. This is what the stacks are. When something explodes, it increases the stacks, and then you do more damage, and yeah. So it's a ramp up over time thing. I thought it worked pretty well. Especially wondering about how Nova and the new champion, who I can't spell, work because he has such low intelligence. You almost force to go the Nova spec that goes lower. Oh, no. Because again, Nova got her Heroes synergy as well. Cosmic Resonance. Heroes of Heroes are automatically buffed by Discovery and are not included in the calculations for highest int score. So Cosmic Resonance, plus she got her synergy build up, means Lucy is just fine. He's just fine. Doesn't matter. Everyone in the group gets the Discovery buff. So, and they don't count, which means if you're running a 10-person party and the other 5 people have high enough to qualify Discovery, then everybody gets it. Yeah. So they built it right for that. The thing about Nova is you got to remember you want to put Nova in from the very beginning. As you'll see, like there was a heart that dropped. You want to collect as many hearts and brains as possible. Hearts and minds. So yeah, I mean, she's better the further you go with her starting from the beginning. So yeah. And is there a preferred upgrade path for Lucius? Like I said, my preferred is the middle, because that has the potential for the most possible damage. Oh, okay, yeah. Still dying. His ultimate is basically just, again, it's all around Elemental Adept. It basically just applies both of his chromats and makes them all pop, and it does it basically screen wide. It's a big deal. When we get up somewhere where maybe... The reason I want to stay with 5 is to maybe get a bunch of enemies on the screen and pop that in a bit. How do I get 2 brains only killing 1 boss? I don't know. Just lucky, I guess. Bugs. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they adjusted Nova because Nova was always one where they were like, well, we're going to wait until Lucious is in before we give Nova her final stuff. So Nova was always kind of sitting on the side and wasn't sure, like, well, what are we going to do with Nova? Will people use Nova? You know. Now she's got all of her. Now she has her full kit, so we can see how things goes. In regards to permanent stacking, I know of Zorba and Torgar and the potential infinite stacks, and Black Viper for limited stacks. Are there any more stackers in the game? No. No. I mean, Nova stacks in a run. Black Viper stacks in a run. Like you put them in and they collect, and their things increase by what happens in the run, but they don't carry over. Black Viper does have that. She could stack up to, or she reaches thresholds up to 6,500, and then there's no more out of that. Torgar does the same kind of thing. Again, he goes up to a certain threshold, and then he stops. Zorba is the only true infinite stacker. And who knows? There's been rumors around the water cooler of, the unholy trinity being adjusted at some point in the future. That's Zorbu, Krull, and Averin. Maybe a couple others who are major outliers in the game that are kind of throwing everything else off balance-wise. So who knows what might change in the future. Best spec for Lucius achievement doesn't matter. Again, we'll go look at his achievement. People keep asking this, and I'm like, I don't think you're reading the achievement or his abilities. Elemental Pop. Have 10,000 enemies explode due to Lucius's elemental adaptability. His spec has nothing to do with any of that. His spec has to do with the stacks of elemental adept. You get stacks based on the explosions. So it's all about just putting him in and using him, and then ultimately getting near your wall and then parking a familiar on prismatic spray, because again, prismatic spray makes everything pop. Everything on the screen pops when it goes off. And right now it's a good idea to do it in Utterly Deadly, because hey, look, 30-second cooldown, and this is without gear. So this is the fastest you're ever going to make it happen. But I just did it on one run. I wasn't even trying to get it. I just parked Lucian as my DPS, much like this, but I had a full formation, and then I parked familiars on all the ults, and I got it by the end of the run. It wasn't really, I didn't have to work for it. New question: is it worth it to level your left click ability ever? Does it help anything scale, or just there for flavor? So this is click damage. I didn't upgrade this here because I wanted to watch. I want everybody to see what's going on. But so if I put out familiars, which you don't have, basically the idea is to level it up early on in a run. I have lots and lots of gold, so it's going way up there. I'll take the mouse off. As you can see, I'm like into the hundreds, right? What this means is like if I were only able to level it up to like 15, then I would be able to push to about level 15, maybe a little beyond, and still have clicking, whether me manually clicking like this or the familiars out there clicking for me, it would still be viable. But once you pass the level, like it's currently at 139, if I were to get to like 139 and I couldn't afford to level it up anymore, at that point it's not efficient to level up your click damage anymore. You want to focus your gold more on your champions. So like I can run, how far could I go? I mean, the more favor you get, the further you go. Like I can go to 163 roughly, so I could probably finish this entire thing. Oh yeah, I only need to get to 125. I could do all of this via click damage, so that's why I didn't really put these out there, because then you wouldn't get to see the heroes of Erois. We wouldn't really get to talk to them. But yeah. So click damage is good early on for most people. Early on, only up to a certain point, and again, that point is roughly where the level of your click damage down here, the level it says, is equal to the level that you're on. You can go sometimes a little bit past that, but this game was designed for you to build formations of champions and have those champions kill things. It may be an idle style game, and there may be some click aspects, but it is a formation strategy management game. And a gotta catch them all. Well, you don't have to catch them all, but you're encouraged to catch them all type game. Yep. What's my Zorbu like? Oh, way too high. I mean, if you were with us last week, you know that there was a. I'll take him out. There was a variant that was released called Relentless Peril. The Relentless Peril variant gives you tons and tons and tons of undead ghouls. I think it was what it was. I think they should have called it Ghouls Gone Wild, but they don't consult me on these things, and I'm a little insulted. But it basically, ghouls would come out and they'd die, but they'd stay dead for 10 seconds and then come back alive. And they just come out like a ghoul with each wave of enemies. Well, because they stick around forever, eventually you end up with 100 ghouls on your screen, because 100 is the max enemies you can have. So you end up with only ghouls on your screen, and every 10 seconds they die and come back to life, die and come back to life, which means I sat there and farmed undead kills until I had one EO7 undead. It only took me a couple days with an epic potion. Like, it didn't even take that long. I think I used epics in 1 hour, like maybe about a dozen 1 hour potions. I did the same thing with beasts a long time back on another event variant where there were all these birds, but that took me like a week to get to 1 EO7. Honestly, I think you only need EO5 kills. And for those who don't do scientific notation, that's basically 100,000 kills. Go get 100,000 kills of beasts, undead, and drow, because drow count for drow and humanoid at the same time, and you're fine. And then it's just going to accrue normally over time after that. I only did the EO7 thing because if they're going to throw an easy variant at me where it's just like, okay, here, we're just going to feed Zorbu, then I'm going to feed Zorbu. But yeah, Relentless Peril is just disgusting. I could have kept going. And if I had spent a week there, it probably could have had EO8 kills, but it just didn't feel right. Who else were using your push group with these 5? Oh, so I tried a couple different things. Originally, I tried to see if I could make Alcoria work, but not quite, because there just aren't enough magic users on this team. We got 3 melee attackers and only 2 magic users, so I fiddled around with a bunch of different things. So yeah, originally I was using Alcoria. I was trying to find more magic users, and I just couldn't. I think at one point I had Penelope in. Who did I have here? Probably Beetle and Grim, just pushing, and then Crawl. I was swapping between Omen and Gromma because people were telling me that Omen's ult was still broken, but you could push a little further maybe, but I wasn't getting it's not as broken as it used to be, if it's still broken at all. I think maybe it's just a strong ult, because I wasn't getting just abusive levels of stuff out of it. I had Regis in, set to magic. At one point I was using Esmeralda because her base attack is magic. But then I switched to Brunor. I got a better thing after him. After I gave up on Alcoria, I switched to Brunor. Brunor was doing better for me, but that's because I have outrageous item levels in Brunor. Breaker Fist, what's a good variant for killing constructs? I just kill all mine in Mad Wizard. Like for patron challenges, when they say constructs or whatever, there's a level in Mad Wizard that can just feed you endless amounts of them. Otherwise, if you go to like the dinner party in Waterdeep, that's primarily constructs. So if you don't want to just park on a level and kill infinitely, if you want to actually burn through lots of levels, the dinner party's probably it. But everything except, like when you get patron chores, everything except for undead can be done in the Mad Wizard. Undead, I go to Tomb of the Nine Gods, and it maxes out real fast, because that's basically all there is in there. So let's see. Oh, I need to open up Lucious chest. So I've opened up nothing for him so far. Whew, but you know what? Before we do that, let's go back here. I'm going to have to blow my nose again. Okay, there we go. The ghoul variant is Relentless Peril. Did I get 19 silver Lucious chests? Yeah, yeah. I said earlier, I used all my bounty contracts, which I do every event. And I burned through like 70,000 tokens, so that's what I ended up with. Yeah, and because I already have all the champs and gear for the other champs, then I only ever farm the newest player on this account. On my new player account, I farm each champion equally. Because I just believe it's better to have them all equally geared than to focus on any one. It's worked for me so far. Cassius said Ashara and Delana help for getting more spellcasters. Well, Ashara does, but then you lose Krull. And while Krull is currently overpowered, then there's no reason to give up Krull. Like you can't make up that kind of deficit currently. They balance him, sure. And Delana, you would only put Delana in a formation if you're going to have Delana be your DPS. She offers nothing, absolutely nothing to your party if she's not your primary DPS. So yeah. Okay, so I'm aiming here. The idea, as always, I want all my whites first. I'm worried about my collection. I know I'm going to get enough gear on him. I just want. I better get the white mask. That's all I'm saying. Oh, why you got to do me like this? Killing me. Now I need the white mask and the white vest. Okay, there's the white vest. Thank you. There's the white cloak. Okay. Give me the white mask. There it is. Whew. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling better now. So that's 4. We need 2 more whites. Really? Really? They just want to get my anxiety up. That's all 6. But there's one hole. I mean, we'll still. I've got obviously plenty to go back and undo. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, so I've got this gap right here. So whatever the pre-combat gauntlet, I need the white for that. Need the white for that. But again, 19 chests. I should get it out of 19 chests. There's the green for the stash of jewels. Shinies, how quaint. There it is. Okay. Okay, now I'm good. Now I've got all the whites, and I don't have OCD about a hole. Now, let's see. Do we get the other greens? Technically, we could get blues out of silvers, but there's another green. Blue's rare. Blue's pretty rare. So, as long as I get the greens, I'm happy. I think that was all of them, wasn't it? Oh, there's a blue. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't worry about getting the blues. I just want the greens. Yeah, okay, so we've got all the greens now because there's a duplicate. You can't have a duplicate green if you don't have them all. Not out of a shiny. Okay, so that means we should be sitting at, what, all the greens and 1 blue? Yeah. So that's exactly what I would want out of opening up my silvers. To have all the whites, all the greens, so I don't have any gaps in my collection. Just because it's super hard to go back and fill in gaps in like white gaps if you don't get them out of like because silvers are silver chests are the only things that drop white items. So if you don't get them out of your silvers, you're just kind of screwed. I should have done this disclaimer. Opening them in this way doesn't do anything for you in terms of efficiency or luck or any of that. It really is just I don't want any gaps in my collection. The collection doesn't give you anything, though. So, it's just my obsessive collection disorder that I don't want any gaps. And I don't have any in any of my other champions. I finished all of that this year. Everything, every champion in my collection has all of their items. So, which reminds me, all of my core champions are fully gilded. Because if you don't know what a guild is, guilds mean either a shiny or golden. Like you see the interior borders. Like this is normal. I call that like bronze or copper. But this is normal. So inside that purple, there's just that kind of brownish outline. And then shiny is the silver, and it even says shiny level 1296. And then golden level 1140. So these are the guilds on your items. All of my core champions are fully gilded, and only one of my evergreens isn't gilded. That was what was asked about earlier, and that's Dragonbait. He's missing one. Shinies come out of any chest. Any chest that drops an item, like a gear-based item, a piece of gear for a champion, can drop a shiny. The chance is 1 in 1,000, and there is no bad luck protection, so no pity timers. So I'm up to about 1,500 chests I've opened trying to get that last one. That last one for Dragonbait. So, is Sean in the chat? Sean never comes to my stream anymore because he doesn't want me to get this. That's not the reason. All right. So basically, all of these Chinese chests exist. Well, this is just all the chests. I haven't bought any of these. This is just everything that I've looted since the last event, because I only open up my shiny or my silver chests at the start of an event on stream, because I want, we want to see if we get it, if we get these shinies. Once I get this last Dragonbait shiny though, it won't matter when I open them, because I won't care about getting shinies. I mean, it'll be nice, but when you get a duplicate shiny, which at that point any shiny that came out of a regular chest would be a duplicate until there's a new evergreen champion. Oh, maybe I just save them up until the next evergreen. How bad would that be, folks, if I just stopped opening silver chests until the next evergreen champion showed up, just so I could try to get them full shinies? It sounds like something I'd do, quite frankly. Totally sounds like something I do. I got all shinies on. I have all. She's fully gilded. Again, it doesn't have to be shinies. It can be silver or gold. But yeah, like if we go look at Olcoria, she's got a gold and she's got 5 shinies. And if packs ever come out to get if I want to buy a GE pack for someone that has a shiny. The nice thing about that is when you get a GE on an item that's already shiny, it refunds you a potion of polish. It actually makes those types of packs more valuable when you already have shinies there. Because potions of polish can go anywhere. These silver chests will only drop shinies for core and evergreen champions, but a potion of polish can pop on any champion, which is why I'm sitting on 32 or 33 potions of polish, because I was waiting until I got all the shinies out of these chests, or all the shinies from my core and evergreen, so that all of those potions of polish would go to event champions. Man, I just do not. We got 500 more, folks. When you get your Dragonbait shiny, you're going to burn through all your potions of polish at once. Yeah, we're going to do that. If we get it today, we're doing that on stream. That was the whole point. Oh, come on. Seriously? I should just stop and do the rest at the end of the stream, because this is depressing. I've now opened about 2,000 chests without a shiny drop, which happens. I mean, again, there's no protection. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It's a lot. It's a lot. I was a little low this time around too, because there was stuff I was doing that wasn't necessarily farming Mad Wizard. So I think I'm about 500 chests short this time. But I also have a bunch of gems. I could just go buy lots of silver chests. Which I swear to God, if that's what I have to do to... Oh, there it is. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed in chat. Well, Dylan isn't here. Hashtag blessed in chat. Just fill the chat with hashtag blessed. Dylan can't ban you all. I mean, we know what this is, right? Hey! All right. Finally. Finally. It's been a few months. I've been hunting for just that one. All right. So that's it. That was my last evergreen. He's full. Now we get to pop all of these. 32 potions of polish. All right. We'll do that. And then I get to save all these gems for something else. Yay. I really probably would have bought 100,000 gems worth of silver chest just to get that thing if I had to. Ixma, how central is the Chewinga Mask tools for the job charm to Penelope's kit? Let's go take a look at Penelope. I really enjoy Penelope. I think she's great. I think go hey batter. Oh, when I was using Penelope in this formation with the champions or the heroes of Erois, we found out that she's suboptimal with this setup because Ayla doesn't knock back and Penelope doesn't knock back. So when you get to a boss, the boss never gets anywhere near your party, which is a neat and useful combination to know. But Penelope needs someone to be attacking the party to really do her stuff through Chewinga Mask. So whenever the formation is under attack, Penelope dons her Chewinga Mask, calling an elemental friend to her aid. That's Walton. That's who she's calling. It sits on her sits on her shoulder while her mask is on. All champions adjacent to Penelope gain the following charm based on their tags, etc., etc., etc. So tools for the job is, I mean, this is the big kind of ramp up buff for her. So Penelope increases the damage of all champions by 100% for each adjacent healing, support, or gold find champion. So you want to have her in the middle of a formation surrounded by a lot of people, and then you pop tools for the job, and then tools for the job over here. This increases based off the item. So it can get up there pretty far. Let's go look at Lucious to see what his incoming tools for the job is, so you can see what it looks like. Well, we're not under attack. So again, this is the problem with combining these people together. It would show up once they're under attack, but yeah. So I mean, if you're using Penelope, that's kind of a big deal for her, right? Have You Met My Friends is kind of the big one, but it's only on whoever she hits. So that's kind of a good shot. That's a good thing to have an item to have, like if they have a GE for. But the Chewinga Mask stuff is the next best thing, in my opinion. Because that's going to be really like, oh, here we go. So the gold find is down here. The bonus 7,000. Yeah. So I mean, it's nice. It's not like, oh my God, I've absolutely got to have it. But that's kind of more the Have You Met My Friends. But the Chewinga one is nice. Supposedly fixed her healing now. So now she should be healing 400 every second. Not horrible. Not amazing. I have to compare her to other people to see how great that is. But, it's like a bonus from her. It's not really the core of her kit. And it's nice sometimes to have a healer that you're not necessarily placing near your tanks, because sometimes you get variants where everyone in the party's taking damage. So having healers that are placed around to be able to heal everyone, depending on who's taking that damage in the party, it can be useful. What happens now next time you would get a shiny? I thought I said that, Real Bunny Beast. Basically, if a shiny were to drop out of any kind of regular silver or gold chest now, it would be a duplicate. And when it hit, whatever item it hit would, instead of getting shiny-er, because it can only be shiny, it would get 125 item levels plus whatever that item was normally going to give you. So it's a big boost of item levels when you get a duplicate shiny. Now we're under attack. Does it say? Oh, I needed to look under incoming, and it's probably wearing off. Oh, it already wore off. Dang it. I'm not fast enough. We need one of those stupid cows on the screen. All right, next time a cow comes on the screen, we'll see what it looks like. Whew. Nose is running. Need to enter in a marathon. Dad jokes, folks. That's what you're here for, right? All right. I kind of want to see. I think we have to move to the next level to see another cow. think we only get one a level. Yeah, just one a level. All right. Let's see what the buff is for Penelope here once the cow spawns, and then we'll open up. Or we'll pop those potions of polish. Come on, cow. Move onto the screen. Spit, spit. There we go. Okay. And where is it? Why is it not showing up? Why are we not getting this incoming effect? Oh, I know why. Because it's not on him. It would be on Keelik. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. No, it just says it has it. Great. So I guess it's whatever. I hate when it does that. I guess it's going to be this. The total damage buff of 7,000. Makes sense. Yeah. Oh, it's because it increases the damage of all champions. Yeah. Anytime something... this annoys me. Anytime something increases in the game, increases the damage of all champions, as opposed to some kind of formation-related descriptor, it doesn't show up anywhere. Doesn't show up anywhere. Oh, great. All right. Let us... Yeah. Let's pop some shinies. Boom. Add shiny. Keep in mind, Potions of Polish, it's a random item on a random champion, so you don't get to direct it. So we'll see what we got. We got a Barrowan. Don't care. But it removes it from the pool. Greg the Keg. Is everything ultimates? No. Hey, Plague Pain. Sorry about that. Someone hit the air horn button. Yeah. You're getting a shiny on Krull. I mean, that's the best possible scenario, right? I already had the GE for the Pilfer, because of course, right? But then to get the Plague Pain one, yeah, thanks. I'm good now. Let's see what else we got. The God Trap. Yeah. Requisition Lucky Break. Sure. That's gold. And Freely's another, great gold find character. Ultimate Attack. Don't care. Damage of all champions. Yeah. Because I use Beetle and Grim as support in my deep push formations. So that's a good one. Health of Briv. That's solid. You notice it just went up by a chunk. That's going to help Briv be a bit more survivable. For me, it still isn't going to bring him up to the level of Ayla or Tyrell for me, but it's going to definitely let me use him more. Another one for Omen. Oh, hey, there's a Morgane. Damage all champs. I use her as one of my swaps. That's going to come in handy because I do an Ayla Morgane swap when I'm pushing my wall. There's a Cridle. Yeah, that's almost like a Delana. Yeah, Flanya. Yeah. There's another Barrowan. Am I getting... Hold on. Oh, yeah. Only missing a couple there now. I'll have to go through and look and see what I'm missing now after this. Ooh, Tiny Bulwark. Yeah, that's her tanking one. That's good. That'll make her a tankier tank. So Lucious now the anti-hitch, the secret support character instead of secret DPS. I mean, he is another one because Beetle already, or Grim already holds the title of secret support because he's a DPS that debuffs. That's really why I use him I use him, not Beetle, in my deep push formations. I want that debuff. That debuff is what does things. And Lucius provides a debuff. So in that same vein, he's like Grim. Yeah. There's that, man, lots of ultimate related shinies. Is there a conspiracy? Look at this. Oh, that was ultimate cooldown reduction. Yeah. These are all ultimate cooldown reductions. And you know what? I ain't even mad. I'll take them all. And I'll tell you why. Because if I got a shiny on them, They cap faster because ultimate cooldown reductions are one of the few items in the game that actually can reach a cap. Yeah. And it's 75% of whatever the original value of the ultimate cooldown timer was. So usually you hit that, if it's shiny, you hit that around 252. Shiny level 252. If it's regular, it's like 500. So, leveling something up to 500 to cap it and then getting a shiny feels real bad. So getting all these shinies on these things that are sub 250, that are cooldown reduction, fantastic. Hey, there's a Rosie item. Buff Rosie. Jaheira. Hey, Spurts Pack Tactics. That's when you use them with more kobolds. We need more kobolds in the game for that to really take off. Hey, there's another Briv item that makes them a little more useful for me. Damage all champs from Melf. Narak damage. Yay. Pulls it out of the pool. Dark Order synergy. Interesting. Right now, Torgar just sits and farms his stacks in my secondary party. But at some point, he's coming out and going into my rotation. But hasn't happened yet. Zombie Grung. Ooh, symbiotic infection. I like Cisaspia, so this is going to be interesting. There's another Cridle. Ooh, Esmeralda. Again. Ultimate attack cooldown. Yay, Penelope's P pitcher. This is the one we get a GE for. So now it's actually, I was just talking about this. It's actually more valuable now for me to to get that GE, because if I get the GE, it just gives me this potion of polish back. Oh, that's hilarious. We got more Rosie stuff. Oh, here's a Regis. Ultimate attack cooldown. Ooh. All champs damage. Hey, Arcane Chromite Acid. Sure. That was the last of my potions of polish. Oh, man. I've had those for a long time. If it's shiny as a green, will the blue, purple... I mean, I just shiny to green, so this is a good question, Beaver fan. Will the blue or purple of that item pick up shiny when you pick it up? Yeah. Because here's the thing. Shiny... It gilds the whole slot. See how this shiny little silver line goes around the entire item slot? That means that all the items become shiny. Right? So it even though I got it on a green, the white, if it had been a white, it would have been there. And when I get the blue, it's going to be shiny. When I get that purple, it's going to be shiny. Yeah, guilds go around the entire item slot. So like here, Delana, all of these are gilded. All of these are gilded. It's just the way it works. So yeah, 30. That was 32 shinies. So 33 shinies today applied. Whee! That's the shiniest day I will ever have, because I'm not saving those up anymore. But as you can see, there's definitely a lot of gaps. And unfortunately, I can't really farm these, right? So, the only way I can really get shinies into those slots is to get more potions of polish, which traditionally come from purchases, or golden epics, which traditionally come from purchases. So that is what I am relegated to now. This is the biggest boost of power I will ever have, because everything else is just, it's all about luck or spending money on the game. But that is fine. Remember that 50% bonus for a shiny is really just, it's like having 50% more item levels. So you can always just go run lots of time gates, or you can open lots of patron chests, and you can get your item levels that way too. You aren't restricted to only getting that power through spending money. It just speeds it up a little bit. So yeah, doing pretty good. Where did you get all the potions? Again, I've been saving them for a long time. So they were potions where there was a pack up and I already had a shiny on the item, where they for a GE that was for sale, and I bought the GE and that refunded a potion of polish. Or sometimes there are specific packs that say they come with a shiny. Or any of these. This one isn't big enough, right? No, it's not. Okay. what comes, this is a potion of polish right here. See, potions of polish. So if you were to buy the Iron Pup Familiar, usually you get a potion of polish or a shiny for every $10 you spend in the store. So like, you know, because you are getting chests here, but they decided to give you a potion of polish instead, because that can go anywhere instead of it just landing on Artemis. Whereas if you do, oh no, this one does a potion of polish too, because he's got generic stuff. This one does a shiny. See, it says guaranteed shiny. So this is going to be a shiny that only lands on Regis, coming out of these 7 chests. Whereas because Brunar here in this pack has supply chests, and supply chests don't drop gear, they give you the shiny as a potion of polish. So that is traditionally how you get those. And then they do things like this weekend, where they give you a GE, or like with Lucious out now, you can get his anonymous donation GE if you buy chests. That's their reward. What's a GE? It stands for Golden Epic. So epic means the purple. Purples are an epic. A golden epic means it's purple and it's gilded in gold, which is that gold outline. Basically doubles the power of an item. Any idea if any critical role characters might be added to the game at any point? I mean, we have Spurt. Where is he? Right there. That's it. I mean, if you watch Critical Role, you've probably noticed they are real busy. Each and every one of them has a job outside of just streaming. Not only do they still do voice acting, but they have also, through Critical Role, started doing all kinds of other things, like Laura does. Laura's the merch maven. Oh man, why did I just blank on everyone's names? Taliesin and one of the, oh man, this is horrible. Sean's going to be so mad at me. A couple of them do like all the book stuff. Like they're in charge of the book stuff. Travis is, and I think Travis and Sam, I think, are both doing the animated stuff. I think they're working on the animated stuff. One of them does their philanthropy foundation. Like they've all got stuff that they're doing, and they're all creating like all these books and comics and animated stuff and merch, and they're playing the game, and they're doing voice acting. So to have the time to sit down and like put characters. Oh, they started their own tabletop game company. That's the other thing I'm forgetting. Yeah, Ashley does the charity stuff. Liam and Taliesin, I don't know why I couldn't remember Liam's name. Liam and Taliesin tend to do the book and art related stuff, because Liam did all the fan art stuff originally from the beginning, and so I think they've teamed up to do a lot of the book stuff. Yeah, they're real busy. So if they were going to do Critical Role related stuff, they'd probably just do it for their own stuff. Like they did go back and do, like when they were, because they were all voice actors on, I think, what is Pillars of Eternity 2. That company was like, hey, do voice packs for your characters from season 1. And they were like, okay, because they were already there. That's real easy to do. But then to have like Idle Champions or Codename Entertainment come in and be like, hey, we'll put your champions in our indie game. I mean, they might be up for it, but I feel like that would be a pricey thing, because they don't just do this for free. So, you know, yeah, keep that in mind. All right, hold on. One of these days, I'm going to stop sneezing. And to continue that conversation, yes, Marisha does a lot of the creative stuff, arguably the most important for, their Critical Role channel, because she's in charge of doing a lot of the content and stuff for all the content and stuff for that. So that's huge. Ask Dylan sometime how fun it is organizing 11 shows for the Codename Entertainment channel. on top of their regular duties. And I mean, yeah, that's a lot of stuff too. And then I think Derugade said another part of it is there's so many player characters in Critical Role. There are. Even if they started threading them in right now because of just the restraints with how it works, right? There's, 7 players plus you'd have to have like one of Matt's mini NPCs in, right? So 8 characters. It wouldn't just be like, even if you did it event after, if there was one every event, it would take 8 events, and an event happens every 3 weeks. So there's 6 months just straight if they made it every single one. And that wouldn't happen because it just probably wouldn't. It wouldn't happen one after the other. And then that's just for one of their campaigns, right? Like they have 2 campaigns, like their old campaign. People still would love to see those characters, even though, the Mighty Nine would probably be the ones you'd want to try to fit in first. But that's just, there's so much. That's so much. Archon wasn't an actual wizard. Archon Archon's Force Grey. If you look at his alignment or his affiliations, he was in Force Grey. That was an official Wizards of the Coast stream. But Archon was Joe's character for a long time. But he used him on the Force Grey stream, and then he brought him over into Critical Role for a couple guest streams. That is where he got the Hand of Vecna. So there is, Critical Role related things in the game via the Hand of Vecna on Archon, which is a feat you can get for him and a skin. And then Spurt, right? And it was easier to get something like Spurt because Spurt was Chris Perkins' characters, and CNE already has an arrangement with Wizards of the Coast for their stuff. So, yeah, that was probably an easier get, right? Think you can push your wall now with all the new shinies? There were only a couple that landed on characters that I use in my deep pushes. So probably not. Again, that's why I say shinies are great when you get them, but it's not like to me, it's a collection thing. I'm collecting shinies. Like I want them all. So getting that milestone of all Corn Evergreen shinies was a big deal. But where all the rest of them went, it was, some of them ended up good places. What's going to be better than pushing my wall, because I don't need to push my wall. I've got more than enough favor. My wall doesn't need to go further. What's better for me is that now all of those off champions that maybe, that I was like, oh, well, I got them for this and whatever. When I do variants where they're the person I have to rely on, they're gonna come in better and work better for me because they're gonna have 50% more power from that item, coming from that item than before. What's my wall? The highest level I have gotten to on this account is, where is it? 951. I can tell you right now, 901 is the highest level I've gotten just pushing with a formation. And then I got those extra 50 levels doing the whole click debuff manipulation thing. The one time I tried it, and I was like, it's too much work. I don't need to push that. Eventually we will push past 1,000 without really even having to work for it. So it'll get there eventually. So yeah, I am almost done with achievements. 428 out of 435, and I'll be able to grab, I should collapse all. I think I'm missing I was missing Feast of the Moon. What am I missing? Oh, probably the newest champions. I haven't done Penelope's on this account. I did it on my other account. That's right. And then Lucius's stuff, but then all of the other event champions, I've got all their things on. So that's 3 more, right? 2 more. So Feast of Colors, and then Penelope's, and then all of these, which will just happen on their own over time. Now that I don't need, well, I guess I'm still buying certain things with gems, but eventually I will finish this one off just with excess gems. It won't be a big deal. I do still have, that's the wrong shop. Boom, gem items. I still have 2 more gem familiars to pick up, and then these 2 skins. Like here's Nova's new gem skin. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. There's a Lich Dadius skin that I need to pick up. I picked up Gromma's Druid skin. That was the one I was more interested in. We need to open these now. 200 gold chests. Do I have the second Modron core? Yeah, I already have the second Modron core. It took a while, but I got enough gems to buy it right as I maxed out my first core at 15. So that's actually the core that's in here right now that we're using on this group. I don't need Penelope out there. Oh, I was looking over here. So I used up all my bounty contracts. As you see, I don't have any here. I've got blacksmithing contracts, but I'm out of bounty contracts because I burned them all for the event. So now we get to open all the gold chests to replenish them. So all the loot in here I don't care about. All I care about is what kind of bounty contracts do I get. That's all I buy. These gold. I had like 100 and something regular gold chests, and then I bought like another 100 gold chests just so that I would get these 2 feats for Lucious. Ding ding. So there's Lucious done. And then I would refill all my contracts, because that's the only place you get bounty contracts. If you'll notice, I opened 1,000 silver chests and didn't get any bounty contracts. It's because they don't come out of that. So if you want a lot of bounty contracts to burn during events, and I do, then you got to open gold chests. Lots and lots of gold chests. We'll see how many I end up with. I may end up wanting to buy up to... I've been trying to figure out, do I want to buy up to 200 or do I want to buy up to 250? I did 250 for a couple times and it was okay. This time I only did 200, and I'm feeling like it might be a little low. So what do we end up with? 273, 275. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to need more gold chests at some point. So I may end up buying more than... Well, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just buy another 50 gold chests. And you want to buy a bulk, you come here, because you get this fancy slider. So, here. Remember, all these duplicates are nice, but they're raising item levels for my core and evergreen champions, but really what I want are these. It's that, and of course blacksmithing contracts over time, because that helps. Now I'm up to 17 epic blacksmithing contracts, and then all of these. That's going to help me when I go to raise my event champion item levels. But yeah, this puts me well over 300. I'd like to end up around 400. We'll see what happens. What is the basic with these patrons? Dage or Dage? I don't know what that question means. So if you could clarify in chat, Sasha will grab that for me and let me know. Spurt ultimate cooldown have a cap? No, because Spurt's cooldown doesn't reduce, it increases because of how Spurt works. So if you see here, increases the cooldown on Spurt's ultimate attack. So it can just get longer and longer and longer. And that's actually what you want, because one of Spurt's buffs goes up the longer he's been dead, and his ultimate kills him. So, how much favor is just enough that I should focus on doing other stuff like more variants? E20, E26. It depends on the campaign. If we look up here, ignore Torm, E45. That's just where I dump all my conversions because I don't need favor anywhere else. So Kellamvor is at E29. That's probably overkill. Helms is at E31. Probably a little overkill, but yeah, Tiamat's is E37. That's probably coming in close to being right, because the key is what are you going to need for patron stuff? So probably in the E30s for Tiamat's, mid 20s for Kellamvor, mid 20s to 30 for Helm, and Orals is probably going to end up being in the 30s again, because that's a harder campaign, but we're not into difficult stuff yet. Ultimately, it comes down to, can you do everything that you need to do in those campaigns, like in terms of patron stuff, I don't know that you need more than, I'll be honest, I don't know that you need more than 20 in Kalimvor or Helm, technically. Tiamat's wants more because of Tale of Two Champions, and you need a lot of favor to complete that. That's really the only way to complete that variant. It's a favor-based variant. The champions don't matter at all. It's all about click damage. So ultimately, it comes down to, can you buy all the blessings? And can you soft cap? And soft cap is usually around E20, if not a little lower. You'll start soft capping super easy before you get to the end of your runs. Like E20 should have you soft capping before 400, like in the mid to high 300s. And that's usually going to help you to get to some of these higher requirement stuff. But at that point, the gold doesn't do a whole lot for you. How many familiars do I have? A bunch. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, other party 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25. And I don't know. I mean, sometimes I use them all. Like there's some that are assigned right now. There's 6 that are over here. 1 for each champion. Because I don't do a full formation over here. This is just Torgar stack farming and getting me gems in the background. That's all this does. That's all that formation exists for, is to stack up Torgar stacks and to farm green gems. So yeah, the rest are just whatever I'm doing in here. And sometimes if there's 10 champions out, I'll have 1 on each of them, and I'll have like 6 out here on the field and 1 on click damage. So there's 17, and then you could have up to 1 on each of the familiars, or up on each of the ultimates. That would be 27, right? You could use 27 familiars if you wanted in one party. And how did I get all those gold chests from since the last event? I mean, it's just, again, it's churning Mad Wizard as much as possible. That got me, and getting all the codes that CNE gives out every week, right? That had me at about 105, and then I just bought the rest. Do Modron automation buffs work if the core is in your active party? This feels like a misunderstanding of how those buffs work. So the buff from a Modron core applies to whatever party you have it in. So right now, this party gets the buff, whatever is coming from this, which is nothing. It's just automation. This party gets the buff from this core, which is this. So whatever core is applied to the party, that party gets those buffs. That's how it works. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at over here? Do I need to level? Oh, yeah, we died. So this formation so far looks okay. For Lucius's bedtime stories, we just need to give some more damage. I should probably be using Lucius, but oh well. Furia's been my DPS of choice for a while. She got some decent gear. Does better than Hitch. Even though Hitch has a little bit better gear. So, yeah, this should get me to 175 pretty easily. I can take this off here now. We're to the point where I don't need... Go away. I hate this on WebGL. If that window slides out, you can't do anything on WebGL. It kills me. All right, I can put these down here now. Because we're high enough that click damage doesn't matter. Because my level is at 109 and we're at 136. The clicks weren't doing anything anymore. Nothing at all. Do I use the strong core for deep push? If you mean the strong core in is how they're named, because I think this one is named, like I think the core 2, isn't it called the strong core or something? No. I use my core with my biggest buffs, which is this one. This is the original core, or whatever I think it's modest core is what it was named. I don't know. You don't see the names once you own them. So I don't pay attention to the names. But I use the one with the biggest buff, right? That's the whole point. So if I'm going to push deep, I'm going to move this core to my primary pushing party. But if I don't care about power, if I don't need it for what I'm doing, like this, like I'm doing these event variants, I don't need the power from that core, then I'm going to have the core in that I need to level up, because you only get levels, you only get XP by completing levels. So if you're leveling up a core, you want that core in your active party, because that's the fastest way it's going to get levels. If you're trying to level up a core in your background party, it's going to take you a couple of years, probably. And that's not good. That's no bueno. Just wondering what patrons do. I've seen that you can buy patrons, but it's not really giving you for what. Oh, okay. I mean, I do have there's a video on the CNE YouTube Games channel, Gaarawarr's Guide to Patrons. That'll go over everything. But generally speaking, when you get a patron, the first thing, one of the big things is they have all their own buffs. There's local ones for when you're just doing patron variants, but there's also global ones that apply everywhere. So it's like another level of blessings, but specifically related to patrons. Each one has their own set. There's also a shop with things that you can buy in it. There's like skins, like this steampunk Zorbu skin. Pretty cool. There you can get, this is where you get extra time gate pieces so that you can run more time gates. There's potions, which I don't recommend buying. There's Modron component chests, and then there's some feats. There's a potion of polish. There's skins down here. These are high level one-time only purchases. More feats. There's a familiar. There's another skin. Here's a GE. This is the only way you can get golden epics in game by a currency is there's one in each patron currently. So they each have their own. So these things up at the top are generic and are the same, like in terms of time gate pieces, potions, and the Modron component. But all of these feats and skins and the familiar and the GE, these are all different per patron. So yeah. And then they give you these chores each week to go do to earn more currency. This is how you earn your allowance, basically, every week. They're called challenges, but it's chores and an allowance. You have a plan for what your guide is going to be about tomorrow? Yeah, we already talked about it. Tomorrow is Gaarawarr's Guide to Automation. So we're going to talk about how familiars and Modron cores help you to automate the game and do things for you. Because there's still people that don't necessarily understand how all that works, especially if you're new. But there are even some people who've been playing a while that don't understand. Like when they get their core, they're not sure why it's not automating everything. And we're going to go over all of that. Why don't you recommend buying potions? Because they're super pricey. They're super pricey. I mean, good Lord. So let's talk about, I guess we can talk about this. You are limited. There's 2 ways to earn, there's 3 ways to earn patron currency, which is this, like for Mert, it's Ruby coins. 1, you can just go do patron variants. They're going to reward you with a certain currency amount per variant. There's no limit to the amount of that you can earn in any given week. It's just based on how many patron variants you can complete in a week. But once you're out of all the variants, like if you see, I'm 99% done with all of his variants. Same with Vajra. You can't earn any more that way, right? They also let you earn Ruby coins in free play. You get 2 coins per level you complete in a free play, which basically means you need to run 2,500 levels in free plays, which overlays with the challenges, and challenges is the other way you earn money. So this amount on the left, the 250, and through here 500, 750. This is the amount you get base for doing this. This amount on the right is a bonus that you get from Blessing. Yeah, right. It's the Blessing in Avernus, right? Yeah, extreme patronage. Increases the amount of patron currency gained from free. Oh no, this increases the amount of free play currency you get from free plays. that makes that easier. This is the perk. This is a perk then. It's Mert's perk. Challenge accepted. Increase the amount of patron challenge reward earned by 20%. That one. So you could earn between free plays and if you do all the challenges, but you don't have that perk yet, you can earn 10,000 coins, 10,000 currency every week per patron. You can add another 1,000 on if you have that perk. So 11,000 max. So most people spend 2,500 of that right away on a time gate piece. If you're still getting components for your Modron pipes, there's another 5,000. That leaves you with either 2,500 or 3,500 left. Why would you want to spend all that on a single potion? You can't even, a potion of specialization, 5,000. Never buy these. Never, ever, ever buy these. Ever, 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 ever. It's never worth it. For these, though, I mean, epic potions are nice. They're real great, but this is super expensive. 2,000 of this currency versus just spending green gems on gold chests in the shop. Just go buy them. 500. Like it's, yeah, it's, you can't just, you'll have to open a lot to get what you want, but you know, I mean, like I got 40 epics of giants, 54 clairvoyants. The ones that are hard are to come by are the speed, right? Because you use those more. But eventually they just build up because you don't need them. The biggest time you're going to use potions there's two times. There's either you're going to use them in a variant that you're having trouble completing and you need an extra boost from potions. That's the first time you should be using potions. The second time is when you're going to do a very deep run, like to do like a deep run and you're going to farm a Zaka, or you're going to, or you just want to push and see what your wall is, you know, to either max out your favor in an event, or you just need a lot of favor in a campaign for some reason because I don't know, you just haven't been able to get it. Usually that's only going to be Avernus or Icewind Dale, quite frankly. The other ones you should be able to get easily without popping potions, but Avernus and Icewind Dale are hard and you might need to use potions to push deep there. Outside of that, there isn't a lot of reason to use those epic potions. So you shouldn't churn through those too much. And the cost, again, it just comes down to cost. Like, they're not worth what you're spending. Like, if you get to the point where you absolutely positively need one of those to do something, sure, you can go buy it, but there's no reason to buy it up front. There's no reason to every week. And I used to be someone who like tried to balance out and buy stuff, all these potions every week. And then I realized there's no reason to. So I just bank all my extra. So after I buy my time gate piece and my Modron chest each week, the other 3,500 and whatever I got off of variants, new variants they added, just go in the bank and they save up so that at some point when I need to buy lots of patron chests, like in an instance with Lucious, if I don't, I can't do it with Lucious because he doesn't qualify for any of the patron. Well, he qualifies for Vajra if I take put his feet on. So if I end up not being able to fully epic Lucious, I have saved up 4 EO7 in, 1 EO5 currency. I got those backwards. Yeah. Okay. I've got 1 EO5 currency to spend. And I can buy a lot of patron chests and try to finish them out that way. Like, it's better to bank these. And if maybe you're real close and you just need that and you don't have one and you thought you did, sure. But just regularly to buy it, no. And then this one, never, never, ever, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. I mean, it's your game. You do you. Buy whatever you want. But when it comes down to it, I don't think they're worth spending that's hard-earned currency from patrons. I would not spend them on anything other than a permanent increase to things like I get out of gear. So I had some problems last night trying the Mert variant for never split the party to reach area 350 for the last 25 levels. 4 of my hero slots were locked out. I mean, that's pretty much how that works. Did I do split the party when I did Gaarawarr's Guide to Difficult Mert variants? Was split the party one of them? I don't remember off the top of my head. It may have been. And I can't go check because I'd have to look at a video live while we're on while we're on this. But yeah, split the party is. Let me pull up the rules again. Oh man, I'm gonna sneeze again. Hold on. Ooh. Okay. It's never split the party. What am I saying? Split the party and never split the party. Why did they have to use both of those? Okay. Only one champion from each bench slot is available. The champion chosen at random. Okay, yeah, that one's just super RNG. So with split the party, basically, what you want to do is at some point along the way to the goal level, in those 25 areas, like every 25 areas, it's going to change. You need to check starting at level 1. Do I have enough people in this formation to build lots of damage, to do lots of damage? Like, it's a 10-person formation. Do I have at least 8 people in it, 8 or more? Am I going to do a lot of damage, to be able to build a lot of damage and set a high bud? At some point in your journey, at every 25 levels, you need to look and see. And when you get a formation that is 8 or more, in my opinion, then what you do is you save that formation and you mark in the name of the formation. When you save it, you put the level on that it triggers at, so that you can go back to that level to set your bud. And then when you get to the end, what you do is when you get screwed at the end, because you always get screwed at the end, and you just don't get your ideal formation at the end, and you don't have the damage. What you do is you hop back to that level and you set your bud with that full formation now fully leveled up, and you pop a fire breath potion and you run forward and you click kill everything. This is bud spiking. This is what bud spiking with fire and using fire breath potions to complete stuff is for. Never split the party is the ideal example of this. You want it so whenever you run out of damage and fire breath isn't killing anything, you drop back to that level where you had a full party, hopefully, and you spike your bud again, and then you hop back up because bud decays over time. So you can kill a lot of levels with just those fire breaths and clicks. You just have to do it by bud spiking. And I believe, I don't know if we did that one on difficult Mert variants, or if we did another. I've done a demonstration of bud spiking on either. I did it on either the difficult Mert variants, or I did it on the difficult Strahd variants. One or the other, and I can't remember which. I would check the difficult Mert variants video first on the CNE YouTube channel and see if it's there. But that's what bud spiking exists for. That's what, jumping back, loading in a full formation. And it works for more than never split. It works for the ones anywhere where you could potentially lose formation slots over time. Warden's variant is one. You lose slots in Warden's variant in this event. I don't think you don't need to bud spike in his because he gets a damage bonus. But anywhere where you're losing formation layout slots over time is a prime candidate to bud spike with fire breath potions. What is the big problem there, and what won't help with bud spiking is the bosses in that adventure. If my memory serves me correct, the bosses towards the end are armored. Like when you're right before one of the hardest problems is that there are armored bosses, which means you have to get lucky enough in your final segments, or getting close to your final segments, to have a tank. If you don't have a tank, you fail. And you just have, once you realize, I don't have a tank, here's an armored boss, you just reset. You just got to reset and do it again. Question 2. Okay, hold on. I got to blow my nose again. 1 second. One of these days, it's my like worst fear that I'm gonna like do that and have forgot to turn either the mic off or the camera off. No one needs to see or hear that. Real quick, I saw a comment in chat. I'm gonna follow up on what we were just talking about. Conrad, the problem with split the party and patrons is that you can get a champion for the slot that doesn't qualify for that patron. It's a game of pure luck on who you get. Well, yeah, that's not the problem. That's the point. That's the challenge with patrons. Like that adventure is meant to be an RNG based adventure, and then when you apply it to patrons, that's the added challenge, is that you can end up without slots that you can put in. That's the point. That's not the problem. And again, bud spiking is the solution. What if the boss has armor? That's where I bounce off. Again, you gotta have a tank that can take that beating from the boss. And then because you spiked your bud, you can click through armor. You just can only click through once every 5 seconds, 5 or 6. We'll say 5. So it will take a while. So you have to have a solid tank that can live through that. You can also burn your ultimates. Whoever you have in the party, hopefully they've got some multi-attack ultimates, because ultimates will run off your bud too, and they'll help burn through that boss as well. So you got to keep that in mind. It's a problem last night. Oh yeah, no, that's the one we just did. So question 2, I just unlocked multi-party mode, and when swapping my only core, I hose myself because I don't have my automation on. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I am in the group of people who would like when you either add a core to a party or remove a core from a party, it just defaults everything to off. It's just a thing where you got to remember to turn it off before you move it. I would love it as a quality of life upgrade if they just default it to off, but that's not the way it is. What's the best mission to push deep in Avernus? I don't know any of them. They're all pretty painful, so pick one. I think I did just one of the starting ones, like one of the ones that are on the Sword Coast where you start when I push deep. I don't know that there's, I haven't necessarily tried to optimize my farm in Avernus because I have more than enough favor there. So I am in Avernus on my new player on the Marzoar challenge account, and it is challenging, but I haven't hit a wall yet. I haven't maxed out all my blessings yet. I've got a tier 1 and tier 2 blessings on that one, and then some of tier 3, but yeah, I definitely don't have enough favor to get all of tier 3. Because I can soft cap, but once you can hit soft cap, the only thing that's going to get you more favor and be able to push further is power from somewhere else, and I just don't. I need to go get that patron power. Is Aaron Silver Warden Kroll Lucious chest? Should I be cracking them right away or saving them for the next event? Oh no, open them right away. Open them right away. Yeah, don't wait around. Who's your favorite champion from the Erois party? It doesn't have to be because they're statistically good either. I mean, Ayla. She is probably the best person in the party, but I also just like the idea of, not even in this Valkyrie skin, but, a badass warrior with a huge hammer just hits me real well, because back when I played Star Wars Galaxies, I was a Wookiee, and if anybody knows, back then, if you chose, Wookiee was one, I think maybe the only race, if not one of the only races, but I think the only race at launch that couldn't wear armor. Every other race in the game could wear armor, and Wookiees couldn't. You could wear clothes, but you didn't get armor. So you had to build, you had to either be super careful when you were doing stuff, or you had to create a build that made it so that you just never really got hit. And if you did, you didn't take much damage. So I ended up being this kind of swordsman / I don't know, was it monk or whatever? These specialists, Terraskazi, Terraskazi monk with swordsman and some fencer. And I blended all of these skills together in a way that made it so that I was very hard to hit. And I did damage with this giant power hammer. So Ayla speaks to me because she is basically the D&D female version of my old big tanky damagey boy. I mean, I would literally go, nose to nose with ancient crate dragons, just soloing them. I was that tanky. And people would roll up on me, think with a group and be like, oh, he'll die in a second. We'll just sit here and watch him die and laugh. And then I'd kill the whole thing while they watch. And by the time it was done, there'd be a huge group of people and they'd cheer because it wasn't something people usually saw. I would get at all of our guild meetings, that I was the guild leader and everyone else in the guild, there was a group of them that would rotate through and try to 1v1 challenge me with various ways of trying to tie my hands behind my back in combat. And that was their way of trying to get better. And they couldn't beat me. It was just too good. I eventually became a bounty hunter killer for Jedi. They would hire me to be near wherever they were farming. And whenever they had a bounty hunter come after them, they would yell at me and I would just come roaring in on my speeder bike because bounty hunters came in. They had mind pools that, you didn't want to have a helmet on and power hammers hit in the head. So I'd come in and just knock him down and then kill him with 2 hits and then go back to whatever I was doing. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I like Ayla. Ayla speaks to me in that regard. Would you mind explaining how do I reset a character? Or it's meant to exit the adventure? I'm trying to figure out what exactly you mean. So every time you play an adventure, when you complete it, all your characters go back to being locked and you having to purchase them and choose their specializations over. If you're in the middle of a run, you can, and you have one of these potions of specialization, you can use this to trigger a choice to bring up the specialization screen again. If I go, who would we even want to adjust here? I guess if I go to Lucious, right? Then I could re-choose which of his paths to follow. But I'm just going back to Elemental Master. Man, we only have 5 minutes left. And man, I should have used speed potions because this was taking forever. I thought we could finish this without speed potions and without clicks, but apparently not. Is there a good beginner's guide? I literally just started playing today. There are some on the Reddit. If you go to the Reddit wiki specifically, I can't link it in chat because this isn't my channel. But I guess we can just link my stuff on the wiki. This will get you into the wiki. Oh, that's not at. You can do this. Come on. There we go. That should bring up the link. Yeah. And then at the top, you can go back to just the general wiki, and there's resources that have beginner's guides, specific beginner's guide. I've never made an actual overarching beginner's guide because I feel like it's too complicated. There's just too many things that I want to talk about at too much detail. So I've just got all my one-on-one guides in that page. Because they all go into touching on that. So if you want to read written guides, there's a lot on the Reddit and the wiki. You can also log into the Discord. That should just be !Discord in chat. Lots of people there. There's a new player channel specifically that people try to be helpful in. And then if you go to the YouTube, to the CNE Games official YouTube channel, you will find Gaarawarr's Guide. There is not Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything, but Gaarawarr's Guide. That is a series specifically tailored to being kind of tutorials for very specific things, and you can learn each kind of specific thing along the way there. Is there a way to show all champions even if you don't have enough gold to unlock them yet? No. No, it's never a thing. It won't show you slots that you can't actually purchase. And if you don't have, if I go here, these are all the champions that are in this slot, but if I go over to my other account, it doesn't show me all that are available. I would love it as a quality of life issue, Codename, if you're listening. If when I clicked on a champion, if it always gave me these arrows, but then it would show all the boxes, but whatever I didn't have should upgrade out. And then it just gave me, instead of swap with levels and stuff, or like this, or, oh yeah, these all say swap, like this. If instead of doing this, Almond level 0 swap, it said where you got it from. Obtained from the whatever event. or if it was an evergreen and you didn't have Hitch, obtained by signing up for the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, folks, come over here from the menu, click on newsletter, sign up, get Hitch and free weekend chests. Yeah, always do that. And then in the holidays, they usually give us something nice that isn't a weekend chest. Like we got Krull's skin last year. But yeah, there isn't a way to do that currently in the game. Those are all quality of life features, and they've been pushing major features, and now they're, polishing Modron stuff and multi-party still to a certain extent, although, they may be coming to a conclusion there. We don't know. We need to ask. The next time we get the developers on stream, the actual developers on stream, we need to say how they feel about the current state of the multi-party system and Modron, and how much more they think they need to do to make it to be considered done with it for now. Because we don't know. We don't know. And that's about all for today. We only got a couple minutes left. LWKJ is a 2-ish month old player. I can't recommend the Discord enough. I've had so many questions answered there. Yeah. I mean, people are very active. A lot of us have been in there for years. This game's been out 3 years, and a lot of us have been in there for the most part that whole time, trying to build a community where people can ask questions and get answers. I said for a long time, especially I tried to push this a lot in year one. Don't hate, educate. That was like the mantra, right? So, don't make fun of somebody having a good time. Just educate them on how to do something better instead of, making fun of them. And I think that's taken hold for the most part over the past 3 years. There's still a lot of people that still like to be super negative about stuff, but there's a block button for a reason. But yeah, hop in the new player channel. I think it's down under resources. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, under player resources, there's a new player channel. Hop in there if you're newer, and you can sit in there. You don't have to go to any other places. There's also a combinations channel in there where you can get all the combos for all the free chests. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be back with more Gaarawarr's Guide to Automation. The first half of the show is me basically, it's not like this where it's just all questions and me answering them. The first half of the show is me talking about automation and all the features. You can ask questions. The questions will be compiled in a document like the one I have over here right now. And then in the second half of the show, I do a Q&A, but I target all the stuff that's on topic first. And if we can get through all of that, then I'll go into general questions too. So if you like, that's tomorrow, 9 a.m. on this channel. Otherwise, you can find me at twitch.tv/Gaarawarr, right down there, or follow me on Twitter to see what I'm doing and when. Those are usually, Twitter's really the best place, because if maybe I'm doing something on a different channel or whatever, you're going to find out on, or maybe I'm not streaming that day, or maybe I've changed the time. You find all that stuff out on Twitter. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. If you're not going to stop by tomorrow, I hope you have a good weekend, and I will catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.